Hello, guys. I hope you all are doing well. This is what day is today? This is the 6th of January 2026. Wanted to give you guys a quick market update on a few things that I covered it for you previously. I'm going to be covering a few assets so you can keep an eye on it, especially that we are still early into the year. Uh, This is also a reminder that anything that I'm going to be talking about is just for an educational purposes. It's not a financial advice. You need to see how exactly you can come up with your own views for the market. So the only thing that I'm putting it here in this video is just the way how exactly I'm reviewing the market and I'm looking at it. So again, it's not a financial advice. Wanted to cover and start with Bitcoin, but we're gonna start with just a clean chart without complicating things and just to show you like where exactly we are standing. This is something that I want to remind you with it that for now the price that we do have it on BTC, it's kinda complicated in the way that if you want to put yourself in a place um, to come up, like let's say with a blind bias, if it's going to be a long or a short. For a reminder for you all guys, when we started this year in 2025, you can go check by that time when we started the year, um, where exactly I was talking about like the price of BTC to go and to make such a move all the way to the upper side and come at these levels till like let's say the drop that we put it, and then after that um, the price to come and to trade all the way to the upper side. So we finished the year, which it was mainly that I was looking for the price to come and to trade these lows. Specifically that I was looking at it mainly the 80 to 86 region. That's what I was looking at it for the year. Now these kind of things, it started looking kind of clear for me with the way how the price was moving because of this kind of a price action that we get it here, then the move to the upper side, then the consolidation sideways. We got like a lot of nice price action that we can rely on it. So the price action that we do have it here, it's really a little bit complicated. Well, what does it mean by a little bit complicated? It's complicated to build a bias. To build a bias means that are we looking at this to be a range? Well, if it's a range, then I need to identify the range, especially that we started a new yearly candle. The best way to look at it and to keep things simple is to look at the previous year high and at the previous year low and the pivots of the year. And that's literally what do you have for now on BTC? That you get the move from this as the pivot, because it's coming from the body of the candle all the way to the body of the candle. And as for now, that's the play. That's exactly the problem that we do have it here, that the price is just trading into this area, and BTC can literally stuck into this range and stay in this range for a quite good time. We don't have like really like let's say like too much of a price to deal with it. We don't have some kind. I know that a lot of people that they are looking at this to be like let's say an Adam and Eve pattern and break above it and continue to the upper side. You don't have just enough information. Now, what does it mean that you don't have enough information? You don't have enough information because macros, it's not supporting BTC to take a direction and to take just like, a move and a kind of a clean direction between like, let's say, to the upper side and to the downside. So we need, like, let's say, to dig deeper into the price action that we do have it here. We need to look at things to see what BTC can do at around these levels, and we need to look at it, like, let's say, from different views. One of them that for me, as for now, the price of BTC from the moment that we came at around these levels, we already shifted the trend. You can go check most of the videos that I spoke to you guys about it at around these levels, even with the drop that we get it here, where everyone is just talking about leverage flush. No, the trend shifted from here. And shifted from here, that's what exactly happened after that, you know. Now, did we reverse the trend? Did we finish the drop to the downside? In my opinion, the drop and the trend finished in two ways. One of them, it's levels that you drop to it, and you base out and you reverse the trend. And the second one, it's time, because the price can't keep going all the way to the downside nonstop. It doesn't work in this way. Unless the asset is going to go to zero, that's a different story. But by then, the trend is going to stop because she just went to zero, you know. But my point here is that the trend can't stay to the downside forever. And this is like, let's say we take it, you know, in some optimal cases, you know, when we are talking as an example on Nasdaq, because looking at Nasdaq, like every single time you are getting into drops, just a little bit after that, you're just like trading into new fresh highs. Even like you move here, this is a downtrend, the trend finished. We started moving a little bit to the downside. No, the trend didn't finish. And then after that, we started reversing. And here where exactly you started trading into new all-time high again. And then after that, the move to the upper side, trend to the downside, finished, move to the upper side, trend to the downside, finished, move to the upper side, and then goes on and on. So that's like the kind of optimal, you know, the look that we do have it, like the trend by the end would finish time-wise or you know, levels. So let's talk a little bit about time, because that's what you do care about it, you know, most of the time. Now, in terms of times, definitely the asset can keep going in a downtrend for a period of a year. That's normal. But inside this, there will be moves that you move to the downside and the trend can start putting some kind of shifts into this, where you get, like, let's say, these kind of moves to the upper side. And then after that, you continue the trend. If that's not the case, let's assume that this is the case, where the trend played like this, and then after that, you know, started somehow basing out, then started shifting the trend. So it can play into these kind of things. Now, for me, when I'm looking at this, I do always really start getting a little bit uh, just doubtful when we do spend like something around 90 days and more into a downtrend. Because in that time, you need just to start looking into, could the price start reversing? And if it's going to reverse, could it reverse, like, let's say, a decent move to the upper side before it's going to continue to the downside? That's the kind, you know, of plays that I do have it in my mind. Now, looking at BTC, with the price that we do have it here, honestly speaking, I'm too flat into a major price. One of them, that with the price that we do have it here, do we have the capacity for BTC to trade all the way to the upper side and to take the highs from here? Yes, she has the capacity. But at that time, I'm not looking for BTC really to take off and just to trade, like, let's say, you know, beyond these highs. That's like, you know, the kind of debate that we're going to be having it here. Now, by that time, if we are looking at this and just like, you know, looking at the price that we do have it here, my main problem that we didn't really form a kind of a support and a full base out at around these levels. Now, what does it mean? It means that I can't rely on building swings. Does it mean that I can't long? No, I can long. And you just can play it level to level instead of just having a one full trade that you can, you know, carry it toward higher levels. Now, there are a few things that I want to talk to you about it, which is what exactly we've been dealing with it here. And we're going to go literally on every single time frame to make things clearer for you guys. I'm going into this just as a momentum base play. For me, BTC here, she tried to reclaim the daily momentum, failed. Tried to reclaim the daily momentum, failed. Then based out, formed some kind of a compression into a new year and then into a new month. And then we started moving to the upper side. And as for now, we are holding the momentum. Does it mean that this is blindly holding the momentum? No, that's a daily momentum. What does it mean? You're still in a down momentum when it's coming to the weekly. So BTC can even push further toward higher levels and then after that come back, like let's say, to lower levels. Now, it's nice that we've been some kind of like, putting some kind of base out here at around these levels. And this is something that you just need, like, let's say, to be mindful of it. That for me here, we're going to look into lower time frame just to start identifying things in a proper way and how we can play this properly. Now, the play from here into this kind of a structure that we put it, definitely BTC is coming into a demand area. That's no doubt in it. But there is a demand area and there is a demand area. What are these differences? The differences for me here, that this is the consolidation and the accumulation that it happened here before taking off, while this move is just came after a retrace. So it's not coming into a major area that we can rely on it fully, the same way of how exactly we are relying into this consolidation. To clear for you something, this was an area of consolidation. The price came to it, then this is for me an amazing area to look for the price to move to the upper side. Now, the moment that you start losing it, you're going to start having a problem here. The moment that you start reclaiming it, the moment that things is going to start moving and shifting to the upper side. Let's also clear things in a better way. As I said, momentum, it's still to the downside. What do I need for this momentum to shift? Definitely we need this to start moving to the upper side. This is an early signs, that if the price holding on a weekly basis and we started reclaiming this, then yeah, fine. That's fine. We can start looking into this and we start trading, like let's say, into higher levels. Now, when I'm looking at this on BTC, it really needs a decent amount of uplifting. Now, there is something that if we want to go into a conservative play, you do have the 12 and the 21. I do use the 5 and the 13 in order to spot the momentum a little bit earlier. The 12 and the 21, you are also holding above it. You get also a nice compression at around these levels, but on the weekly basis, it's still even higher. So it's still around the 98. So we do have the 96 and we do have the 98 levels. Now let's forget a little bit about the momentum. And I don't really like to do something where I can explain to you previous price action, that the price will do this. The price can do anything. It doesn't have really to follow any kind of pattern that you do have it. Now, the thing for me here, that I don't really have a kind of a pattern, just like something even to deal with it, like let's say as kind of even diagonal lines that usually I do rely on it in some kind of a formation. But no doubt that this area is an area of demand, because this is where exactly the whole move started and you just came to it. Where this will put us, it's going to put us in few probabilities here. But again, I'm dealing with it level to level, and I'm dealing with it in a way that I'm just dealing with it as on weekly bias, because I really don't have the monthly bias here. First of all, did you sweep previous month high? We just swept previous month high today. And this means that for me, on a monthly bias for January, sorry, as long as I'm holding this, the 90,300, then I would expect the price to continue to the upper side. Means that can this play out in this way as an example? And then to move to the very possible, very possible. And then maybe no. The one thing that I do have it's that these highs, for me, they are poor highs. And if I'm looking for something, I'm not really convinced that the move that we got it here, it's a major sweep of liquidity. I'm not convinced in it. This is not the liquidity for me. This is the liquidity for me. This is a liquidity for me. These are liquidities. But this, for me personally, it's not a liquidity. Now, why? This is the way how exactly I'm looking at things. You might agree with it, you might not agree with it, but I'm looking at it in this way. So first of all, this area, where for me, when we dropped to the downside and we moved, that's the area that we should come to retrace toward it and meditate it. And in fact, it happened here and it happened here, and you saw the rejection from it. So how many times you're going to reject from an area? One time, two times, three times, and that's not the area. But I'm going to be looking into the waterfall price action, which is usually the price really likes to retrace toward it. Just look what exactly we do have here. Look what we do have here. And look what we do have here. So there is a possibility for the price to trade toward these highs. There is a possibility for the price to trade toward this area, and then to fail from here, as an example. There is also another possibility for the price to come to trade to this area and then to fail from here. There are possibilities from here. So how can we play this? That's the way how I'm playing it. So to give you a small, just structure for how exactly things started in the beginning of the year and how exactly I'm looking at it for the coming few days, it's the following. First of all, that was the 1st of January. Price from the yearly open moved, tried to come back, small play and small deviation, sorry for that, into the yearly open, price reclaimed, and then after that kept holding above it. The bias, it's simply looking for longs, stop losses under these levels. And we kept moving and looking for higher levels, looking mainly for the 94,000. Now, does it mean that the move finished from here? We'll see if the move really finished or it didn't finish. That's what we will be talking about it now. What I care about, it's how exactly Asia started. You got yourself an Asia that it started from these levels as an Asia high. You get yourself here an Asia low and Asia high of Monday. Because for me, just to remind you guys that I do rely on Asia high and Asia low of Monday as a bias. What does it mean? If we break, we hold above it, we shift, then the bias for the week, we continue to the upper side. The problem here for this week that we didn't really get into a major acceptance above it, because by the end, it is a major resistance area that it's coming from a yearly pivot level. Now, where this also is putting us that this is, yes, I know that it's a range. So how can I deal with it? I can deal with it on a low time frame. So on a low time frame, that's what we have on BTC. Let me just put it in a proper way. For now, the price is trading definitely under the mid of the range of Asia. Could we move a little bit to the upper side, come back even more, visit the low, maybe even deviate a little bit under it, reclaim, and then after that start moving to the upper side? That's a very decent probability and very, very decent possibility that we do have it. What other options that we do have it? Unfortunately, there is another option for BTC that we might get it, that BTC could definitely tumble down from here and just trade toward lower levels, toward where it could come all the way toward this area before a move to the upper side. It's very possible. We could also shift to lower levels. So for now, that it's gonna put us that I need to be extremely selective with how exactly we are playing every single week. I don't want to overtrade this So in fact, for us, we traded from the yearly open. We traded also from here, looking into the 94. Did I short BTC? I didn't short BTC. Because if there was any kind of a short that I would like to trade it, let's just clean the chart and put the other levels that we do have it. So I do have these levels that if I would like to get into a deviation or into a short, I would like to see BTC trading these highs, shift even a little bit higher, get me a clean deviation so I can play the short with the stop losses above this, look for the price to trade the 83. If after that to trade toward these lows, then fine, happy days. That's how exactly I do deal with it. All right. It didn't give me this. We didn't get on board on it. No issue at all. It's not gonna even hurt, like let's say, not to get on board on a trade or two. So it's absolutely fine for us. Now the point that I care about it here, it's BTC, it's in a range and it's a range bound environment for now. That's a range bound. This is why you see alts, they are gaining a little bit of momentum, which we're going to be covering few altcoins and we're going to be talking about it in more details just to see what exactly we spotted here. It could help you to spot, like let's say, some kind of setups for the next weeks, but I will just give you literally the textbook of how exactly we deal with things. Now, this liquidity that we got it here, unfortunately, it's not really something major. We just came all the way to the downside and we swept this liquidity that it's sitting here into a major area and a major consolidation, which is something major for BTC to hold it. Can we come and to sweep these lows? Well, unfortunately, if you're going to come and to sweep these lows, then in that time, BTC, it's breaking the structure and you'd be expecting breaking the structure, not from anything, from a range that this by that time you start this, like, threatening the cluster of consolidation that you do have it, which is it's already swept for me. So the moment that we start trading into these lows, the moment that we might get any kind of a bounce like this into the rest of the week, and then after that to put some kind of a structure. So in that time, this is again, it's putting us in more of a weakness, instead of a strength. But for now, the price for me is just trading in a range, and the only range that I do have it's this area that I think if BTC it's going to hold this area, then there is a decent probability that the price can run the highs. Could we even move into this, come back, even trap the short and swing fail this one more time into tomorrow? Very possible. And then after that, start trading to the upper side. Possible, very possible. Or we could again trade a little bit into lower levels, the 93,000, and we deal with it once the price it's going to do that. It depends on how exactly the price it's going to move afterwards. That could be, by the way, into, I don't know, next week, could be into this week. We will see by that time. But for me, this is definitely a major area and a major important area for BTC to hold it with, swinging or without swinging. This is a major area for us to hold and to look, like I'd say, for the price to recover and to move to the upper side. Now, from a weekly level, there is really nothing for you to look at it unless you start losing this. If we started losing this level from here, then you will be expecting the price to shift lower, to start seeking the liquidity from here, from here, from here, from here. That's a total different stuff. So weekly level, that's my pivots. As long as I'm not losing it, it's fine. In fact, you might even come, close a little bit under it, deviate, move to the upper side, and you start playing, like let's say, into these. But as I said, for me, these highs are poor highs. So at any stage, even if they pull the trigger to the downside, I'm still looking for the price to trade toward higher levels. Now, where exactly toward lower levels that they can pull the price? We can trade, by the way, all the way to this area here, which is very possible, around the 90K. If we trade at the 90K, 90,300, still there is a decent probability for the price that we might put, like, let's say, a major move to the upper side. There is also another probability for the price that it gave you this move, that you could lose this area, and this area is not going to give you that much of a bounce, and still you could come and you could trade this base out here maybe form some kind of a support, and then again come to trade these highs. It's also very possible. You might even get a small deviation from this area. It's still on the table, and it's still very possible, like let's say, to get this kind of price action. My point out of all of this, that my bias will always rely on these pivot levels. So I can trade BTC and I can look at it into this way. And that's the only thing, that how exactly I'm looking at BTC. I'm having Asia high, Asia low. It's fully exposed. We swept the lows, we swept the highs. One of these levels, definitely the price is gonna break, toward the direction. For me, as I told you, like for me, I'm still looking into this. These are poor highs, and the price, most probably we're going to be looking to trade these highs again. That's the way how I'm looking at it. It doesn't mean that I'm always right or something. That's too far away from being true. But yeah, that's the way how I'm looking at it, and that's how I'm playing it, and that's how I'm positioning myself into this. That's always, by the way, a setup that I like to get into it, and I would like to trade it. And it all depends on what exactly we will be doing in the coming, few hours. Can we run from here, reject one more time, and then tumble to the downside? It's very possible. It all depends on what really the price is doing. But for now, that's the kind of price action that I would really like it. And the sweep of these levels, it's always for us. It's absolutely attractive to look into it and to play it. So as I said, that's a kind of a structure that I'm looking at it on BTC. There is like a scenario that I do have it in my mind. I really don't know if it's gonna play out or it's not gonna play out. But there's, I would say small probability for it to play out. And if it's gonna play out, that would be really nice. Not putting again too much, like let's say, I can't really put, too much too much, like let's say, on this price, that this would be the play, and we're going to be looking at it, like let's say, that it's going to play out in this way, or it's not going to play out in this way. We'll see if it's going to play out in this way, or if it's not going to play out in this way. But for me, BTC, if I'm looking at it, for me it's stuck, into this range. We do have a decent liquidity to the downside, and we do have a decent liquidity to the upper side. So this was definitely a major liquidity for me to come to sweep it, but that's not the play, Still, for me, that's the play. But this was nice for us, like let's say, to play it from the yearly open. We are talking about like a 5, 4, 6, 7% move to the upper side. What do you need more than this? So for me, it's looking absolutely nice, and it's looking absolutely good. Could we see, like let's say, BTC still hovering, a little bit to the upper side? And just moving, like let's say, toward these areas where BTC can still, give you multiple setups here, and then trade these highs, and then somewhere at around these levels we start getting faded, and we start just rolling to the downside. Very possible, just from a kind of a structure that we do have it, toward, like let's say, the mid of the month or something like this. It's very possible. Now, what other things that we could have it here as a play? So looking at this on BTC, this honestly would be a nice scenario that I would like to get on board in it if the opportunity came. BTC at some stage, it's to come to trade these levels, or maybe these levels, or maybe even one more level to the downside. How that could happen? Could move like this and get like really a sharp drop. But I want really the drop to be sharp. Could be from here, could be from here. And if we started forming, could be, by the way, here, or even here. If we started forming the support here, and we started just like putting some kind of a decent structure, and by that time, if you look at the left side, you are literally meditating this area. If that would be the case, and BTC did this, and we started moving, and we started getting some kind of a support, I would like definitely to get on board here, and then on a move an acceptance into this, that's where exactly I would be looking in some kind of scaling up the position, looking for major moves to go to the upper side. Usually there is this kind of a price action that I do really like to see it, and I do really like to get on board with some kind of a longs on it. I like the price when it's dropping aggressively, but not on this drop. So if I want to clear it for you, so you got the silver price action like this, you got this move, you got this drop, and then that's not the kind of drop that I like it. No, from here, I like to get even and aggressive drops at around these levels, then look for some kind of a recipe for a V-shaped reversals. I like this kind of price action. And if I want to clear it for you in some kind of price to give it to you, I like these drops when they happen. So the moment that, as an example, the price is approaching some local areas, or just like, some areas here that you see like the price is moving to the upper side here, then after that it's failing. And then you get just like literally the price is just nuking to the downside. I like to get on board into these kind of price actions. I like the drops to be aggressive in every single move. You can go check Nasdaq in 2025 when I was talking about it at these levels, looking for Nasdaq to move all the way to the upper side and to trade these highs. This was something that I was looking at it from here all the way to this area. By the time I was looking at this area, and maybe I was looking even for a little bit higher. We went short from here, traded again back to the upper side, the same exact recipe and the same exact price action. Aggressive drops into pivot areas, into major areas. You sweep, you come back into major imbalances, you form the support, you get on board, and then after that you play the reversals. Same exact recipe. I like these kind of things. And as I told you, it's not on the first drop, definitely. Maybe not even on the second drop, not the third. No, I like the price to give me these kind of capitulation candles that the price is going to capitulate from here, and then after that we start playing and we start looking into some kind of reversals to the upper side. Now, mixing between these kind of things and what exactly we will be looking at it is, would we get this on BTC? Very possible. Is it like we have to get it? No, we don't have to get this. Absolutely, we don't have to get this. But I would like to get it in order to get like comfortably and in a swing trade. Uh, but till that it's gonna happen, it's just like it's just like weekly trades that we can trade it and we can play it, looking for a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% between up and down, and we would see how things it's moving from there. Now, ETH in order to give you some kind of um, you know structure, you can see where exactly the price came at around these levels. Everyone was looking for a deviation and not just get this sweep. ETH BTC bottomed. Look what happened after that. But then look what happened afterwards. That's a kind of price action that I do really like to see usually, when everything is also looking at, like, let's say bottoming here. Check this out, into major areas, and then you get one last drop. That's a beautiful one. And also check this. When you swept, even you moved all the way to the upper side. You didn't really reach any area. That's just like a normal bounce that you got it here. And then look at this. That's when you start getting major reversals. Same thing that it happened here. That's not the play. That's not the sweep. That's not the sweep. No, you get the drop, which is no one is expecting it. And at this stage, I promise you that every single one is going to start looking extremely bearish. The same way as how exactly it happened on ETH BTC. I really don't think that many people, they long the ETH BTC at around these levels. The moment that you put down a short signs, short trap, reversals, and then you start moving, you get into a deviation, you start reversing, pullbacks, continuation, pullbacks, continuation. That's a kind of structure that I do really like it. ETH it's looking absolutely fine for me here. And if I'm looking at something, we need to clean the chart here because there is no point, like, let's say, to look at it really into this display. That's the price for ETH that you get it here. That's indeed a nice weekly candle with a demand. Does it have a wick? Yeah. Does it have to fill the wick? Not really. You can come to take the highs and then later on, by the way, to come to roll down. It's very possible. So for now, ETH BTC for me into also a major pivotal area. And if BTC, ETH BTC, it's going to keep holding this area, there is a decent probability that you can just trade all the way as ETH BTC to the upper side. And this will put us from the previous month as a closing. This wasn't really a bad closing for the month. In fact, you do have some kind of a nice structure into a decent demand area for ETH BTC that it's looking like this. Now, if things it's going to go south, by the way, check this as the kind of price action that you do have it here, where exactly BTC dropped. You came, you swept, and then after that, you get the pullback. That's a kind of price action that I would like really BTC to come to it, which is it's coming here. That's the kind of price action. That's the kind of price action that, I mean, if it's going to really push to the upper side, maybe she's not going to do it now, but that's the areas that usually I would like really to see the price trading toward it. Now, again, looking into these kind of a price action, for now, she's looking really good. She's looking fine. Started basing out, putting some nice, beautiful weeks on just like, sideways moves. I'm not really sure if that would be the case or it wouldn't be the case. For me now, as long as we are holding this on ETH BTC, then she's looking good. She's looking good. I don't mind if in case by any chance it played into this way and come to give us one more drop and the deviation to the upper side. For me, this is an opportunity for a trade. And if in case it failed from here, I still have other levels not to carry the trade to the downside. You just get stopped out. And if in case it's going to drop to these levels and they started looking for a new opportunity and a new place. But this area for me, it's absolutely an area that it's looking interesting for ETH BTC to hold it. That's a major consolidation area. For me, this move, I don't think that it finished yet. There is still a decent opportunity and a decent play in my mind to see ETH BTC. It's trading toward higher levels and to give us one more push to the upper side. In fact, I do believe that ETH BTC, with this kind of a price action, if we're going to clean everything, which is a lot of people that they would, maybe what exactly ETH is doing. That's your 3 months, by the way, play. ETH, in fact, it's moving in a sideways consolidation. Sideways consolidation. Check this and check this. That's most of the moves that it happened on ETH. Again, I don't like to put similarities, and I don't put similarities, but I think ETH in this kind of price action, there is still a decent probability into 2026 is to trade toward higher levels and to trade toward this week to the upper side. With it, does it mean that she can't go to lower levels? No, she can't. But if my borders into this yearly play to be like this, then I think at some stage ETH will trade toward this high. We'll see if she's going to surpass it or she's not going to surpass it. That's total different story. But in these kind of price actions, I don't mind getting on board on every single solid opportunity that I do see it when it's coming, like, let's say to trading this. Let me just close and okay, just a second, guys. I think I stopped sharing something by mistake. Just allow me a second if you don't mind. All right, going back to the screen. So again, I'm not a fan of similarities, not by a single chance, but we'll take you to this. Check what Tesla did for quite a good period. No similarities. Forget about the similarities. before she started taking off. Move climatic, another move as a climatic. If you want really to see what exactly Tesla was doing, was trading literally into this play. And if I will go on a 3 months, by the way, time frame, it's even clearer for you to see it. Move to the upper side, climatic, move to the downside, the climatic. But most of the moves, it was 179, 300. Most of the moves. It just started moving to the upper side and started trade. Not no similarities. Again, no similarities. I don't really look into this like let's say to be having like a lot of similarities. Now the question, is there really anything like let's say that it's looking bullish on Tesla? I'm gonna be extremely honest with you. Let's just start with the 12 months. How exactly we close the yearly candle? It's a nice yearly candle, no doubt. Nice yearly candle. But there's a few things to keep in your mind. That's for now, is how exactly the yearly started. Are you trading? The question, are you trading under the yearly level or you are trading above the yearly level? That's your yearly level as a yearly open that you opened the year on it, which was here. So for me, I don't really have a bias on Tesla to tell you that she's looking fine. And you just need to blindly look into some kind of a longs. Not really. You have a nice sideways move that it's coming here, but you're trading under the yearly open. You're trading under these two levels. As long as you're trading under these two levels, then you do have the threat to go to the downside. To where to the downside? That's the most important thing. Well, we can pull some triggers, we can pull some levels, but for now, I mean, you know, you're still into this area that you do have it. Is it like a kind of a range that you do have it on Tesla? Yeah, you do have a decent clean range that you do have it, but this wasn't really the cleanest, like let's say, kind of a price action here. Let's go on a lower time frame. Try to figure out where you don't want to see Tesla losing. For now, definitely this area and this area are major areas for Tesla to hold. If you started losing it, then, you know, could you trade more from the yearly candle that you got it last year because you got an amazing year in 2025? You can trade into, some major moves to the downside before a move to the upper side. You can trade all the way into some part of these moves, 390 can even drop even lower. That's very possible. But as I said, you don't want to go, just like blindly into some kind of bias that you do have it here. So you do have these pivot levels that without it, you can just go blindly with the bias for the long without even looking around. So take that into consideration and let's see how exactly it's gonna play out and how exactly it's gonna move. But as I said, for me on this one, honestly, um, you know, just something that I just like spoke to you about it in regards to ETH that you can just like move again toward the highs one more time with this kind of sideways movements that you don't have like uh, much of a price action. And yeah, Tesla, by the way, also she can come all the way to the downside to around these levels, and still after that, like let's say to start reversing and moving to the upper side. Many things, like let's say to look into it. Now, let's cover other things, in regards to Nasdaq, in regards to other plays. Well, Nasdaq, it is trading on a low volume, but still it's holding while it's trading on a low volume. Remember, that was your yearly candle that you do have it here. Honestly speaking, you don't have really anything to worry about it as long as Nasdaq is holding above. This means that you might not correct, you might just really not correct and just push further from here. And then later on, we'll see how exactly it's going to play out. It is more of a stalling that you need to start moving kind of quickly. You know, that's your yearly open candle that you do have it here. For now, you are trading above the yearly open, so she's looking fine. But you need to start, surpassing. You need to start moving to the upper side. Same thing that it happened here on the S&P. That's your pivot on the yearly basis. And the moment that you are holding the pivot, you just need to start just progressing to the upper side. And I think, as a move, there is nothing really that can stop S&P. You can push further, like let's say toward higher levels into the S&P. The other things that also I mentioned it for you, it was June 30. I dropped it for you. It wasn't really a clickbait when I dropped it for you into this. It was a kind of a clean move from the moment that we closed last month where I spoke to you about it. As for now, it's from the beginning, like let's say of the year, it's moving at 2% to the upper side, which is it's a nice setup, but it's moving in the price discovery area. So I do expect like to really push further uh on this asset. Nikkei, same thing. We are holding above. Sorry, not Nikkei. We got to get a pullback today. That's the previous highs that we got it. Few probabilities that you do have it here on Nikkei. You can come, by the way, all the way to sweep this and then move to the upper side. It's very possible. It depends on what you are doing here. But for now, she's looking fine. She started moving above, then that's even much better. But it's nice to see some consolidation or more of a consolidation before even a move to the upper side and before she's going to start breaking out and continue to the upper side. Is there a probability for this to get faded and to drop to the downside? Very possible, but for now, I'm looking for it. Even if it's going to drop to the downside at some stage, you just need to look for the reversal because of this on how exactly it's closed. You closed a nice, decent yearly candle. I don't think that you top out into such yearly candles. Push further. Then if she's gonna top and if she's gonna start trading to the downside, that's absolutely fine. Now, let's look into someplace, some, major levels on ETH, on look, most of the altcoins uh, for this week got you really a nice moves. Asia high, Asia low of Monday, sweep of Asia low, continuation and the move to the upper side. And for now, you're holding above the mid range. Which is if you are holding above the mid range and BTC is behaving, you'd be expecting again the price to continue to the upper side. For ETH, it's looking a little bit different than BTC because the range high, it's looking even a little bit further toward higher levels, these highs. Above it means that you would be trading this. But we swept major levels on ETH. I'm not looking for this again to fade it. I'm not looking for shorts in general. They didn't really progress further, so I can look for the shorts. But for now, ETH is looking absolutely fine. And I was talking to you about ETH BTC for now, looking for higher. ETH is looking absolutely fine. As long as you're holding this area, then ETH for me it's looking fine to push further if BTC is gonna behave. So you got some kind of shenanigans also today, but still you're holding the same exact structure and the same exact level. Is it more of a consolidation sideways? For me, it's more of a consolidation sideways. That's in fact your range that we do have it, which is it's Asia high, Asia low of Monday. You're still holding the range. It's actually you progressed further into this. That was something we were looking at it this week, and then a pullback for now. As long as you're holding this, you are looking fine. You're looking fine. Just if BTC it's gonna trade again the highs one more time, then it's looking fine. In terms of a range, this is a nice range, definitely on Sol. It's a major area for Sol too. That we came to it and we traded to it. Would we come one more time, if BTC is going to drop all the way to the downside, that you would sweep this? Yeah, it's very possible. But for now, I'm just, trading it just like, with like really zero bias. I can't tell you like, just wait, it's looking bearish. Well, if you do have an opportunity to take it and to trade it, take it. Take it. No issue. But my advice to you is to remind you with the following. The price will always go and move up, retrace, and move up, retrace. Don't get on board here. Try to get on board here. That's the whole thing. You need to be patient if you don't catch the move. And just to try to trade and just try to defend, specific levels when you are trading. So again, that's a kind of structure As I said, most of the altcoins, including like even, by the way, Hyperliquid, uh, it's looking absolutely, by the way, good. Maybe to push a little bit further if BTC is gonna behave just a little bit to the just like she's looking good. That's a nice compression. Just a second. Sorry, I put myself on mute, and unfortunately, I for, uh, I forget to unmute myself. I was talking. I was talking about, like, let's say ETH or Sol or Hyperliquid, that they are looking fine into Asia high, Asia low of Monday. That's just like a consolidation and still respecting the levels. Uh, they 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 looked really well, into these kind of formation. Um, Uniswap, as I said, this kind of moves that you do have it from the moment that you just reversed from here, you're consolidating sideways. Would we come to sweep these lows fully from here, and then after that to start moving? It's very possible, but keep an eye just into this kind of price action. If BTC would really trade and move, like, let's say, above this and start surpassing and trading above it, and to just to behave above these levels, and maybe to trade the 98 after trading the 96, maybe something like this. And then if it's gonna hold, then you would be looking to the 99, maybe 100K region. Could this set a trap from here to roll it down? Very possible. For now, that's the kind of things that I'm looking at it in general, guys. Um, Still, also, you do have something like ICP. It's still also behaving well. Uh, it's not like I do want, like, let's say, to interact a lot with us, not by a single chance, honestly. Uh, but they are kind of looking good. 12 hours time frame, honestly, on most of the chart, it's also looking fine. Some of them they are asking for pullback. Some of them they give you some kind of a clean breakout retest, and maybe there is something to trade more toward it. So nothing on the 12 hours time frame. You got some news in regards to the ETF, which is not something that I do pay attention to it that much. Uh, Tau pulled like really a nice move, and a nice play all the way, like, let's say, to the upper side. It's played really well. But as I said, like, just to try, like, let's say, just to focus on some of the plays, like, let's say that you want to play it. One of the things that I was also talking to the guys about it in the Discord, that Avi, she was looking really good into this play, and it pulled this move all the way to the upper side. For now, it's holding this. It depends on really what BTC it's gonna do. But again, if BTC it's gonna push up, then you would be expecting, these kind of moves that, it might sustain, it might push to the upper side. There is something that I will always remind you with it when you are trading, in some kind of a structure. Guys, always look into these kind of formations on a lower time frame. Always look into it for the price to come toward the consolidation and then give you a shift and the continuation to the upper side, or maybe even a sweep. It's not blindly, it's not every single time. Definitely the best to have like some major pivot areas to look into it. If, as an example, I'll be looking, like, into Avi here, I'll be looking into the 15 minutes time frame. That's the area, like, let's say, to sweep from here. Do I have a major pivot area to defend it? Yeah, definitely. For us, we do have this level. And then from there on this sweep, oh, that's the move. gave you like, let's say, a quick 2.5% to the upper side. If she's gonna behave from here and she's gonna look into this, then that's looking absolutely good. Now, the topic that everyone is looking at. um, Gold. I posted for you gold exactly from here. Um, it was Friday. Usually, I don't really get into any kind of trades into Friday. But this was kind of clear play for me because of the price action that we formed it here, and because of the price that also we played it and we formed it at around these levels. Usually, that's how exactly it plays out on gold. That a lot of people they ape shorts into wrong areas, you know. It was kind of clear for me to look into gold to trade, like let's say all the way to this area. The trade literally played in a very beautiful way. If you guys remember also me talking about this as a yearly candle, I mean, that's not a topping candle. Just, move above it and then we will see, if really it topped or it didn't top. We'll see how exactly it's gonna play out. Anyhow, definitely the trade is just like going in a beautiful way. We are just like still around, I would say, another 3.5% to the upper side. You know, I'm still looking for gold to trade these levels. Um, it's nice if in case you got like let's say on board with this setup and with this trade is to look for it just to take some profit, bank some profit, see how exactly it's going to play out. Same thing, by the way, on gold. You moved into Asia. Actually, you opened with a little bit of a gap, but for me, I was somehow expecting the gap to open to the upper side. The guys also got onboarded on this move. Price moved, printed Asia high, Asia low of Monday retrace into the mid range, acceptance above it, shift to the upper side, and that's how it goes. You know, again, the whole thing that I'm trying to give you something on it. If something is trading to the upper side, try to get the best out of it. If something is still lagging, don't look into swings just to trade like with maybe a weekly bias with uh, quick in out, but don't make like let's say high time frame bias. That's mainly, guys, that I do have it for now. Um, I hope like this part covered for you most of the things that like it's really important, like let's say to look at it. Um, I hope it's gonna be helpful for you. Still, as I said, like there is really nothing like let's say for me on BTC tomorrow. Also, we do have guys some news and major news between tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Let's see how exactly things is gonna unfold. As I said, all over things are looking fine. Um, I saw a lot of people speaking about like let's say UX oil and it got some nice move, toward this move to the upper side. Looking at this, I would really like to get some major deviations, maybe it drop like let's say to the downside before this it's gonna start shifting to the upper side. Maybe the best is not to look at oil, maybe to look at like some companies that they they are in oil and gas and these kind of things. Maybe there will be some narrative there around it. That would be definitely something to look at it. So yeah, that's all, guys, from my side. Let's see how exactly things it's gonna play out in the coming few days. As I told you, that's just I wanted to share, like the way how I'm looking at things, just not to have really any kind of a bias or any kind of a blind bias. I would say that's much better, to look into these kind of things without having just like a blind bias and just trading it like let's say small trades, 1 to 2 trades monthly. Look around, diversify. you're gonna find your trades, really playing out, like let's say in a beautiful way. The main trades that we were looking at it mainly, it was like let's say JER and also gold. They played like really in a beautiful way. It's not like you do have like really to trade BTC. Well, if you fire this trade by the end, all you care about is not the asset. It's literally if the trade gave you something or it didn't really give you something. Away, by the way, from the swing trade, I'm talking about just like, a normal, just weekly trade. If it's gonna play with you, as a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, well, be happy with it. That's all what I can tell you. So anyhow, guys, that's all from my side. I wish you all a very, beautiful 2026 to come and to get you everything that you will be looking at it when it's coming to trading. Just try to learn from the mistakes that you did it in 2025. Try just really, like, let's say, to keep an eye on. There are a lot of people that they are really good when it's coming to putting their views about the market. Something that it's just balanced. You don't have really, like, let's say, just like a blind bias, that it's always long, it's always long, it's always long. From time to time, honestly, I do look around and I do see, like, let's say, some kind of things on what exactly people they are talking about when someone is telling you, like, let's say, that you don't have more sellers on BTC, like, what the hell? Like, you don't even understand how exactly the business is moving, and you don't understand really how exactly it's going. There is nothing that it's called you don't have sellers anymore. Like, there is really nothing in the industry that it's looked like this. It's not the point. It's not the point. It will always go up and down and down and up, and you will always have sellers. There is nothing called that. Like, let's say, if that's the case, then you do have a million other altcoins that, as an example, the people that they went into the IPO, they sold, and then, well, if you don't have buyers, again, just don't try to avoid really listening to these kind of stupid things. And I just like, I don't know. It's just try to play the chart, try to play the chart, try to get your piece out of the market. And that's all what I can advise you to do it. Try really to just to look into these kind of things and do your best to get the best out of the market, really. You're not smarter than the market. I'm not smarter than the market. The market, in fact, doesn't even give a shit about both of us and all of us as retailers, like let's say retailers, traders, they just don't care. So try to get the best out of it. And yeah, that's all, guys, from my side. I wish that this video is gonna be beneficial for you guys. We'll catch up with you later on by the end of this coming week, and we're gonna be coming back to the normal weekly reviews that we do it over the weekend. Wish you all the best, guys. Sorry for the long video, and we'll catch up with you later on. Cheers, bye.